What's good? It's your boy VA. That's AJ, and this is the HR Podcast. Shoot that thing up, hey, shoot it up. As we always like to do on this Friday, Friday, I'm about to say weekend eve. I mean, it's really the weekend, same difference. Night of Paul and Tyson's fight down the street from your boy, literally like 5 minutes at the AT&T Stadium down the street from me.
My style is infectious.
Right. And even with all that going on, we getting right into it. Like we always
My
do
defense is
with that
impregnable.
Contender. With that Contender segment, let's ring that
I'm
bell.
gonna eat your kids.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, he quoted Mike. We're gonna get right into it with a segment that I think everybody has felt good about. It's gonna be Klay's return to the Bay. Huge anticipated return. I mean, that standing ovation that he got was probably one of the biggest I'd ever seen in my lifetime for a returning player. Even the tunnel that he walked through was amazing. Before the game, all the employees, you can tell he was kind of holding back tears. It was a real special moment, even though it kind of ended on a sour note. We swiping left to right on this, AJ.
I was about to say, you getting excited, man, but let's swipe right.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, as you can see, I was excited because they playing the Mavs. So, you know, Mavs are part of this. And it was definitely, I think, bittersweet for everybody seeing it as someone who was a fan of the run, of the Golden State run, and seeing Klay not be there with them anymore was kind of weird. The way he's going about it is even weirder. He's really treating it like a breakup, like sulking in interviews, wasn't really happy about coming back, wasn't excited, kind of somber. But you can tell, though, he wanted to get that dub, or at least play well, which he did. I'm happy he played well. He was hot. I think he hit like 5 threes or something like that.
I think 6.
Yeah, he was amazing, especially in clutch time. But as Steph usually does in his true fashion, he put everybody to sleep. He put that night on him, and it was a wrap. And you could tell Steph was kind of emotional about it too. He kind of seems to feel some type of way about it, about Klay leaving. But to me, I'm more on Klay's side with this. Like, bro, if you really want me to stay, you would have made sure I stayed. You hold all the cards there, bro. Whatever you want to do, Joe Laker will do. So at the end of the day, him and Dre, I hold them more accountable than anybody when it comes to why Klay left. And I can see why he harbors that feeling. But it made for great television. I loved every second of the game. Outside the Mavs being on this 4-game losing streak, it's been amazing to see Klay play in Dallas, kind of find his rhythm as far as playing. The fact that Golden State is actually playing better without him, I think that's kind of get it to him too. But at the end of the day, it's a playoffs league. You can do whatever you want in the regular season, but what matters is the playoffs.
You make it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have any doubt about the Mavs making it or the Warriors, unless somebody gets hurt. I can see, if somebody gets hurt, they're not making it. But either one of them teams is going to make the playoffs. But we'll see who really won, this. I mean, it's a trade, but technically it's more like, a breakup. We'll see who won the breakup when the playoffs come.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think the thing that we're not looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to as a Laker fan, is a trade deadline coming up for the end season trade deadline, and I think that Kuminga might be a player in that. So Golden State better watch out, because Kuminga, they're talking him up. He's a non-negotiable trade. They always say that when they're looking to get rid of somebody. And what's that white boy's name? He turned out to be pretty good for Golden State. Something.
Oh yeah, Paczynski.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, he's a good player, but he's going to be on the move too.
You think so? He was the main reason they let Klay go, because of him. But I ain't been seeing him get the PT like that.
I am personal with this. I'm going to say the main reason Klay was let go was because of Draymond Green.
What?
Oh my God! I think that
because they paid Draymond.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was either going to be Draymond or it was going to be Klay, and I think they made a mistake. But we're going to find out here soon.
Yeah, because I don't see him making it through the season, bro. He already hit somebody on accident. Like,
he's gonna be the regular suspect about to be out of the game because of technical fouls or something. But
he is playing good right now, though.
I'm just not a Draymond fan.
He's been playing lights out.
Klay Thompson, he showed up like you said, and I saw the video of him walking in, and he kind of had that face like, I'm not gonna show no emotion, and just like that, it kicked in, man. It was funny. But I mean, that's how you got to do it right. But I mean, we all knew it was gonna happen. Like you said, it was a good moment for NBA fans to watch him come in and get the respect he deserves.
Right.
Everybody had the little sailor's hat on and paying tribute to him, and that was funny. He hit Steph with a little Steph shimmy after one of his threes. And of course, with Golden State fashion, Warriors, Steph Curry and Draymond had talked down on him after his shimmy, said he should have known better, but come on. It's all fun and games. One thing that I did notice, and I hate to put your team on blast, but Klay had the opportunity to show up big time at a 3 ball at the top of the key. I think there was like a minute left, and he just missed it. And if I'm pretty sure he's losing sleep over that one particular shot. But again, maybe not. He's Klay Thompson. He's good. He's one of the best shooters of all time.
And he played well.
Yeah, he's been playing great.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to do good in Dallas. I think he's going to add to Dallas. And I think that it was set up for Golden State to win that night.
Yeah, for sure.
Not like set up by the NBA or anything. Like just everything aligned for them to win, and they were down. And Steph just did some Steph things, and they got the W. But it was good to see him back in Golden State or wherever they are now, and at least give the effort that we expected. Because they were talking about him for a while, talking about, he's not the Klay he used to be, and he had all these injuries, and that's probably one of the reasons why they got rid of him or didn't want to pay the man. But he did good, man. So shout out to Klay. Pulling it down for that light skin click.
Right.
But that's all I got on that, VA.
On to the next one. We got professional players, NBA, football. I think we got a hockey player maybe. Basketball, I would say basketball, NBA. So across the board, professional players are starting to get paid their salaries in Bitcoin, which is a risky business, man. It could be astronomical for them, especially if they were to cash out now. They could probably make millions on their millions. But I'm sure anybody who got paid in Bitcoin is not selling it. They're holding it for the future. And again, that's risky business. We don't know where this economy going, where that money might go. So we swiping left or right on this one, AJ.
I mean, you summed it up, man. We're gonna swipe left, but yeah, it's super risky business. If it's me, I ain't doing that. I don't care if it's guaranteed or not guaranteed in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, that's up and down. That's not even currency. Is it really? That might be the future. But there's a lot of mics, and I want show me the money in the account, right? But we swiping left.
All right, bet. On to the next one. We got Jake Paul, YouTube sensation, overnight boxer, going up against one of the greatest heavyweights of our generation, maybe all time, and Mike Tyson tonight, right now, as we talked about early in this podcast. Need I say more? Swiping left to right on this one.
Right.
Instantly. How we've made it here, I don't know. I know there was a moment in time that was supposed to happen a couple months ago, but old man got sick and they postponed it. To me, that should have been the end of the whole thing. Like, you about to fight this geriatric man who a common cold might put him under for a couple months. Like, bruh. To me, it was like a disaster waiting to happen. But Mike, I saw some of them videos. Man is fit. He is probably the best shape he's been in the last 10 years. I don't see. This is probably one of the hardest fights to call because you know the power that Mike got, you know the history behind it, but I don't care who you are. If you 50, about 60 years old, you're not the same fighter. You just not. You're not. You're not even in the same class, league as your 20-year-old, 30-year-old self. It's not even close. So for him to be going up against a 20-something-year-old in the prime of his career, the best shape of his life, don't really make sense. What is Mike gaining from this? I don't know if he's hurting for money because this seemed like a big money grab.
I mean, Mike Tyson's never really made sense.
Right, you're right there.
But at the same time, it does.
Right. So it's like, I kind of got to just be like, you know what? I'm going to trust Mike. I think he know what he's doing, even though he's kind of crazy. But either way, it do seem like it's going to be entertaining. I really don't see how it's not going to be. There's just so many factors, bro. Like, people want to see this guy lose, Jake Paul. People want to see Mike just, fight again. People want to see if this dude can really hurt Mike, because Mike has this aura about him being this amazing force that people just like, no matter how old he gets, they're gonna be like, damn, I wonder if I could take a punch from him. Bro, it's like you're never not gonna think that. Because it's just in your head though, you're gonna think like, I wonder if I could still take a punch from him and walk the next day. Because like, we've seen what this man can do in his prime. So I'm very intrigued, bro. And I mean, I'm here for it. I hate to say that, but I'm here for it.
Man, I got a couple of things on this one. First of all, Jake Paul, we say overnight sensation, but he's been doing this for a couple of years and he's been successful. One thing that I want to bring out specifically about him is that he's all about the money, clearly.
Right.
And this is the first fight that I've seen that Netflix puts on.
Right.
Now, I don't know about you, but I got a bone to pick with Netflix because I logged into that bad boy. My thing was buffering. I had to delay it. I know I'm not the only one in the world. Like, come on now. I got AT&T. I got like the super hot spots going on.
Right.
I got like with them things be traveling the internet Wi-Fi connection all over. So we supposed to be good, but come on, Netflix.
Clearly something going on.
Don't think they took accountability for what was going to happen because there's going to be bajillions of viewers to watch this fight.
True.
Next is, I'll give you my prediction last, but next is, the slap. This was the second slap around the world after your boy Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Right.
But that thing had to be scripted like no other, man. I looked at it again because we have the capability to, through Bleacher Report and ESPN and everywhere else. And I looked at everybody's response in the back, like the girls that are just standing there and
they didn't move
at all. And the people on their camps, they didn't really do anything.
It was like one guy that got in between them. Yeah,
and it was like, come on, man, this is scripted than I ever seen.
Right.
I mean, it was still a legit slap.
He
took
still
a
ate
WWE
that.
one, but it was scripted.
It made for good television.
Yeah, well, that's what they're bringing it up to.
Right.
Same thing with the videos Tyson's putting out. Everybody's putting this out, and it's like, oh, we're just trying to keep you intrigued to see what could happen, and just set it on fire the night that we're gonna watch. And one of the last things before I get my prediction is Jake Paul supposedly spent like $1 million on his outfit, bedazzled with diamonds.
Oh my gosh, too much.
Got like these earpieces because he said Mike Tyson was gonna bite his ear off.
Oh my god.
They're diamond out too, but again, that's like the thing that he goes for. It's the money selling, the bling, the flashiness, and then he goes and gets it taken care of.
Well, he reminds me of this generation's Ric Flair.
Yeah, well, he's like, I can't talk bad about him. I want to talk bad about him because he's been successful. I can't, but there's always that fine line that people talk about where is this good for boxing or is it bad for boxing? And some are like right in the middle and some are like, no, it's bad for boxing. But I don't know how to look at it myself, but I will tell you this. if the fight lasts past 2 or 3 rounds, Jake Paul's winning. If Mike Tyson just bum rushes him and just gives him a welling for like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, every minute of the round for the first 2 or 3 rounds, then he has a chance. But he's got to sneak him. He's going to get tired if it goes longer than that, and we're going to see one of the greatest lose to Jake Paul at the age of 60, so it ain't that bad. But that's the way I see it, BA.
Bro, I'm actually feeling that prediction. Like, I'm probably on board with that same prediction. Like, I feel like Mike is not going to last in the later rounds. That's where youth is really going to be on Jake's side. But if he gets bum rushed in the beginning, Mike does have a chance to definitely get that upset and win. I just feel like Jake he's prepared for this, man. I feel like he's not going to fall for that okie doke. I feel like he's going to be
He's looking kind of thick, man.
He is, bro. He's 227 and he's solid. Yeah. Like, both of them look pretty comparable in size. You would think Mike would be looking bigger than him, but no. I mean, obviously this is a 60-year-old Mike damn near, so we have to tailor our expectations because he just don't look like I know how Iron Mike used to look. He don't look like that, but he looked good for his age. 100% great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
you don't win like that.
Right.
Let's keep it real.
Right. Looking good for your age don't got nothing to do with boxing at all. On to the next one. So we got number 4 topic on the Contender segment. It's going to be the conundrum that is the Cowboys and their collapse of the 2024 calendar year. We talked about it last pod in the functioning award, but we just had to bring it up again because that last game, bro.
Well, there's more.
Oof, yes, and the plot thickens. So first off, we're swiping left to right on this, AJ.
We swiping right, unfortunately.
All right, I'm gonna let you kick this one off.
Well, we gotta bring it up, man. Just because I hope people think that, a lot of people talk about Dallas fans specifically, like they want to talk about them when they're only good. Like, nah, we're just gonna keep it real, right?
Right, we keep it.
There's a lot going on, and so chime in when you want to, but there's a few things I want to pick apart.
Right.
First off, there's a lot of talk about McCarthy being gone. Michael Parsons said on his show or in an interview or something like that basically man's got to go. And, that's never good, right? There's talk about, well, he's an elite player on the team, and so he has that pull, so was elected upon the team to maybe have that conversation out in the open. That's just not something that should be going on during this season.
Right.
Like, there's some things that are kept in-house, and it should be kept in-house. But I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm just bringing up what's happening. You also have Jerry Jones doing Jerry Jones things or not doing anything. And let's not get it twisted. We had expectations, but they weren't high in the beginning of the season based off of running backs and everything happening, right? But our defense was lacking some people in the beginning, and Parsons just got back from his first game back, and that was one of the first things he was talking about was McCarthy. Then we got the whole thing with the shade and the sun coming in the stadium, and it arguing about players saying, come on, Jerry, put up some shades, or, close it off, or, whatever it is. We also have Ezekiel Elliott. Homeboy was let go from the Cowboys, and the Cowboys took him back. Right. Why did we take him back? I couldn't give you an honest answer. But he came back, and he was the starting running back for the team. Like, he was deemed to be RB1. And it's like, not only is it wow, but homeboy before he left Dallas was tripping out, doing all kinds of questionable things, getting in trouble off the field and in practices, and now he's back to doing that on a low contract as an RB1. Like, dude, you're expendable. Like,
I think after saw Rico kind of going to one, officially become the number one, he kind of just started acting up again.
I mean, I can see that too, and maybe that's what was happening under closed doors or whatever you want to call it, but the audacity from the Cowboys organization to try and pull one over on our eyes, like, hey, we're bringing homeboy back, get excited about it.
He's not getting no more contracts, bro. I don't see him getting picked up by anybody after this. Like, this is his last run, and he's gonna be remembered as a clown. Like,
yeah,
bruh.
for sure. Bruh. And not only will he be remembered as a clown, but moving on to the other thing is there's no more Dak Prescott. I wasn't sold on Dak getting the contract that he did. They talk about him being an elite quarterback, but he doesn't come through when it counts. And I mean that when it comes to the playoffs. I don't like to throw shade on anybody, right, that I don't do their job or I don't know what's going on, but the man's not getting it done. It's just that simple. But now he's hurt, so he can't get it done. But now we're still playing. We spent the trade on what's his name?
Trey Lance. But you see why they don't play him.
I mean, you got to play him though. Like, if Dak's out and you're going him to be the quarterback, like, you cannot not give him playing time. I just don't get that. And so the list goes on and on and on, and I just feel like I'm rambling, but it's frustrating, man. Like, this is the reason why people make fun of the Cowboys, and it continuously happens. Like, the last time the Cowboys won a championship, I was in elementary school. Like, that's a long time ago, and I don't see anything changing anytime soon, and so that's what's frustrating about it. What you got, BA?
Well, what's crazy is that, good or bad for the Cowboys, I could know that when I tune into, sports talk the next morning, there's going to be at least some good conversation come out of it, Now, we're lucky if they even get brought up.
No, they're getting brought up, man. They're the Cowboys.
I know, but it's not anything positive, and it's more centered around, all right, next season, what they're gonna do? They're gonna bring in a new QB. A new QB, a new coach. Are they getting Dion? They've given up on this season, bro. And I mean, so has most of the people. Me too. I've given up on it, but it's just like we can't even get good talk now around the Cowboys because it's just. That's how you know it's a for real collapse. Like, good or bad, they've at least been
so
relevant.
Far out of sight.
Exactly. Yeah. They're irrelevant, completely irrelevant this year, bro. There's no what if, maybe they could win out here. There's nothing, bro. And I think the best thing about Dak getting hurt and then them having that game like they did last game is to show them that this team really ain't that good, bro. Like, I know they always try to say, if Dak was getting paid more, Dak is getting paid all this money, so he should be playing like a quote QB that can carry a team on his back. How many QBs with this type of team is carrying their team, bro? Because this is not a good team, bro, on both sides of the football. Offense is anemic. Defense can't stop a cold, let alone a run. Bro, I dread seeing any comparable running back. They don't even got to know their name. If they averaging anything close to 100 yards a game, they going to get about 130 on us. Easy. Easy money, bro. It's like the schemes, how do you have Micah Parsons? Even when he was healthy, they didn't know what to do with him. He was running around looking like a chicken with his head cut off, bro. Not even close to the play. He comes and the play is done. That's how bad the scheme is, bro. How is that your best player on defense? He can't even get a tackle. Because how you got him set up, they acting like he's this inside linebacker.
Well, all they gotta do is go the other way.
Bro, it's really been, like you said, it's been hard to watch. It's made this season not very fun because we have literally no dog in the fight in the NFC East, bro. I didn't even watch the game of the night against Philly in Washington. I saw the highlights, but why? What? They're both way ahead of us. It's not going to matter who wins. It's not going to affect us in any way. It's just boring now, bro. Nothing. I feel like these other teams that never get talked about, that never have any chances, bro, I feel like those fans right there. That's us this year.
And it's really bad, right? Ever since fantasy football came out, you look forward to it, right? Especially when your team does good. Not your team on fantasy, but like your personal team, like the Cowboys or whoever it is that your team. And when you start getting away from your team and watching them and going for them and rooting for them and yada, 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 and just sticking like just straight up on your fantasy team, like that's how you know it's just not
right.
good.
It's rough out here.
And then the only thing you're looking for is individual players because you know your team ain't gonna do it. But that's where we're at with the Cowboys.
Yeah. On to the next one. Our last subject of the Contender segment. It's gonna be your boy Bronny headed to the G League. Womp, womp, womp. Nah, I expected this, unlike some people.
I mean, come on.
It's something that, to me, was necessary for someone who has had so little playing time, both in college and in the league. He needs that experience, and he's not going to get it.
College? The dude played less than like 10 games.
That's my whole point, bro. He has not played enough, so that's why he needs to go to G League. But yeah, okay, got
drafted.
No, so we're not here now. we swiping left or right on this, AJ.
We swiping left, man. I got something to say.
Go ahead, you start it off.
Everybody knew Bronny was going to be in this predicament. Rich Paul came out and said he wasn't going to play a game in the G League. He's there. His first G League game, he had 6 points. I'm not trashing the man for 6 points in the G League, but the Lakers selected him like the 50-something pick, and they expected him, I guess, for ticket selling. Like, that's what's frustrating about it. Everybody knew that he was going to get drafted. He was going to play a game with his dad. He was going to be developed. And I'm not counting him out because I see him as a shooter and a defensive player. But other than that, good luck, Bronny. But we'll see. We'll swipe left.
Yeah, just real quick on that. I mean, we've seen countless players get drafted on potential, bro. I can name Joel Embiid alone. Didn't hardly play in college because of his injuries. Didn't even play a full year his first year in the NBA because of injuries. So I know I'm a little bit comparing apple to oranges. I understand that. But what I'm trying,
a little bit, a lot of
okay, but my point I'm trying to make is that we've seen plenty of players get drafted based on potential and based on their name. Whether it be
but Joel Embiid's not one of them.
Okay, but the reason I brought him up is because he's someone who did not have a lot of playing time, who got drafted based on potential. That's just someone who I could throw off the top of the head. But my point in saying that again, it was that not everybody gets a chance to have this breakout season in college, and it's best if you don't have to do that. Luckily for him, he didn't have to have that because he has LeBron James literally in his name. He's named after him. So this is not the first player that had that situation, bro. There's other players who
there's other players.
Were legacy
Joel
players.
Embiid was projected to go number 1 until he got injured.
Right, but Bronny was supposed to be a lottery pick if he didn't have that heart issue, bro. Like, you have to give that. Like, that was a big setback. So we can't even like blame him for college.
Okay, that is fair, but no.
Nah, bro. Like, this is LeBron James' son, first off. Like, anybody of that caliber's son, like, if MJ's son just would have been halfway decent, they would have gotten the league, bro. Like,
he was in the league for a little bit, and that's what's gonna happen to Bronny.
I see he got more playmaking ability than most players his age. He has that.
Then some, yeah.
And he can always work on his shot. That's not something that's a deal breaker. I've seen plenty of players develop a shot. He has great form, better than his dad coming out. He just don't have the athleticism, obviously, that his father had. But he gonna get there, bro. He gonna get there. I got faith in him. But that's the end of my segment. AJ, go ahead and ring that bell.
Ding, 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 ding.
On to the functioning org. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. So we're jumping right into functioning org, VA. First thing that comes to mind when you hear the Milwaukee Bucks.
I think the first one that comes to mind is song by Carl Thomas. I don't know if some of y'all might not be old enough to know this one, but I might sing a little bit of it. And I wish I never met her at all. You know. Yeah, I feel like the Bucks wish they never would have met the coach. What's his name? I don't know what his name just slipped, but Doc Rivers. They wish they would have never met that man because every franchise he touches, it crumbles, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not putting all the blame on him, but getting him has been, I can't think of a worse collapse. You go from 30-13 with a new coach who is trying to establish a culture. So it's not going to be exactly what you want, Giannis. I'm sorry. It may not be exactly what you want, but he's obviously getting it done. Y'all winning, second in the East. Now they ain't good enough. They ain't good enough. Giannis said, no, we need somebody else. Put in Doc Rivers, who is known to collapse teams, to collapse in the playoffs, to lose when ahead, all that. Don't matter. We want him. I don't know why we want him. And now, under 500. I think Doc's record is like 20-40. It's something bad, bro. Like, it's not good. It didn't end well last season. This season has been a Rockies to start. Giannis and Dame, the Giannis and Dame pairing has. I'm gonna give it a little more time. I'm not gonna judge it yet, but for right now, bro, it's not looking that great. The organization as a whole not looking great, giving up on a coach that early, and then not doing anything. I mean, giving up on Budenholzer, who's looking great right now for Phoenix, seems like that was a bad idea. Like, they really should never got rid of him. But, that's neither here nor there now. Like I said, bro, like, I feel like they wish they never would have met Doc Rivers, wish they never would have let go of Adrian Griffin or Budenholzer. Which they probably would have never traded for Dame. They just got a whole bunch of regrets over there in their organization.
I think you just slandered Doc Rivers, but that's okay. I think people don't give him the credit that he deserves.
You cannot.
But I will say that he shows glimpses of, dude, you could have done better. And right now, you could have done better with Giannis, Dame.
And he talked too much, bro. His quotes are wild. I know you've been hearing them, bro. He got some wild quotes, bro.
That's who he is. That's who he's always been. Before I get into my little spiel, I guess the first thing that I'm gonna say that comes to mind is goofy. Like, I just think of goofiness when I think of the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, when I look at Chris Middleton, like, he just looks goofy. God, Giannis himself, he's like that goofy black guy that's like, where's that coming from? Like, that's just out of nowhere. His brother's goofy. I'm not a big Dame fan. I feel like he's overrated. Shouldn't be top 75 players of all time. He's getting a pass on that from whoever. I don't even know who does all that. But anyway, they're just goofy, man. Goofy.
Bro, you saw the little handshake where he like...
No, bro. He tried to hit that 3 the other night and tried to do the whole, cold thing. He was... Bro, that's goofy. Like, you can't be doing that stuff. But what I will say is that I feel like Giannis plateaued and everyone was saying, oh, he's the best in the league and yada, yada, yada. But I personally thought he wasn't going to be able to sustain it. So that's why Giannis needed another player. First of all, they had other legit players on their team. Dante DiVincenzo. They had Chris Middleton. They had Brook Lopez. They had Bobby Portis. Those are legit players on the team. So I don't know why you would bring in Dame, but they still have most of those players, and now Dame Lillard, and it's like, come on, man, like how y'all not getting it done? So I think it's just excuse after excuse.
Holiday,
but I think
bro.
they're just goofy. I don't count them in this year. I don't count them in any year until they get a third star. And that's why I think the comparisons to the Suns, like you brought up with the old coach, is apples and oranges, because they're rolling on that side. And they just needed time to gel. I think that this is the 1.5, 2 year mark with Dame and Giannis on there, with like them playing. So they still need time to get things together. But
Right.
come on, like, you don't need that much time. Like, y'all supposed to be the best.
Anyway, Kyrie didn't make the playoffs the first year they were Mavericks, and then they made Western Conference Finals the second year. So that's why I got to reserve my judgment on this one. But it's still a situation where they have great players, like you said. They have great players there. Them losing Drew Holiday was the nail in the coffin for their championship window. You don't let go of a player who is not only an all-star on defense alone, who has grown, that's what I'm about to say, who has grown into a great offensive weapon, who has been reliable. He came through very clutch for the Boston Celtics and was very pivotal to them winning that championship. They probably could have won it without him, but he just, not only his lockdown D, but the way he comes up in the clutch, he can average a good 15 in the finals, bro. Like, dude was nice. And so to let someone like that go, like, to me, you better off let go of draft picks, bro, and give rid of some other little pieces. But you can't let go of that one, bro. Like, I would have gave up Chris Middleton before I would have gave up Drew Holiday, bro. That was just dumb.
I don't think they could afford to give up either one. I think that if they had some way,
well, they could have let go of Drew, bro. He's not even
Lillard,
playing. He been hurt for the past year and a half, it seemed like.
Yeah, but maybe if he was there last year, it might have put him over the hump.
You talk about Chris?
No, I'm talking about if Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton were there last year with Damian
Lillard.
Bro.
Yeah, but they had to give up something, bro. How they gonna get Dame, bro? They had to give up something.
Figure it out, man. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
I mean, if they could, they would. But, you got contract issues, salaries, getting away.
Yeah, caps, secondary caps.
Exactly.
Anyway, moving along, VA, to the second portion of Function and Org. The first thing that comes to your mind when you hear "Fly, Eagles, Fly."
Dang, it's hard. I definitely don't want to give him their props, man. But first word, I'm gonna have to say Brazilian. After last year, the way they collapsed, them coming back with the same players, basically. I'm not sure if a lot of people had faith in them and they were going to be able to be the team they were when they went to the Super Bowl. Picking up Saquon, no, I had faith that they were going to be good. The jury to me is still out on them, but like I say resilient because that team, that coach, I would say, was in the hot seat for sure this season. Yeah, like
that's normal nowadays.
Philly don't play when it comes to coaching, bro. They will let you go. They let go of Doug Peterson, who won them the Super Bowl. They don't play. That's one thing I can say about Philly ownership that I admire, because Dallas will hold on to a coach for 20 years and he can be 8-8 and still keep a job because he lets Jerry be Jerry. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world, but I digress. Back to the Eagles. Like I said, resilient in the fact that they knew who they were, even though they lost their probably leader of the team in Kelsey. Losing him again, I told you it was huge. It was bigger than I think people expected. The voice, finding out how much direction he orchestrated while on that line. he would audible for Jalen Hurts. There's just so many things Jalen didn't have to do when he had Kelsey at center. It's been a transition for him, but again, that's why I keep using the word resilience, because each player I see on that team has gone through little things that they seem to be coming out better on the other side of. And I can go through the list of Saquon Barkley leaving a terrible situation in New York, turning it around, staying healthy, which he could not do for the Giants, partially because their line is trash, being a breakout star and looking like CMC out there, at least having the same impact that he did when 49ers were going to the Super Bowl. Same impact, you cannot lie.
I'm with you.
AJ Brown, injuries last season. Injuries start this season. Has shown up when he's playing. Devontae Smith showing up. Jalen Hurts, again, it's very shaky. People didn't know if his Super Bowl season was a fluke based on last season. Came back this season, has been decent. Now, has not been great, but been decent, and seemed to be getting his stride. That whole team as a whole, bro, just resilience.
I guess that's a good word. I want to say that my word or phrase would be they're climbing and they're in the right direction, because like you said, a lot of people had counted them out this last year and going into this season, and everybody knew that they were going to be a better team when they got Saquon. A lot of people were pissed that they got Saquon, because it was like, how y'all just going to give Saquon to them?
Cheat code.
And they just, everybody on their roster is just like a rock star.
Dynamic.
When everybody that was on running back on the team previously had always done well. So when you get a top tier running back coming into your league, you're clearly going to open up your entire game now. Because you can rely on Saquon to make these one or two moves during one or two plays, get a big gain or a touchdown, and that's going to be a pivotal point in winning a game. So your win column is going to go up. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I won't say that he declined. I just think that they had to figure things out again. I feel like they lost maturity with Kelsey, kind of like you said. And like they're more like young mentality, like grinding through it. And they're figuring it out. But they're on the incline, and I feel like they're climbing in the right direction. And I hate to say it too, but I mean, they're not at the top. They're at the top of the division right now. So currently, as it stands, if the playoffs started tomorrow, they would be in there like swimwear and getting it done. But that's enough with the Eagles, man. Moving right along. The last portion of functioning org. The first thing that comes to mind when you hear the Detroit Lions.
I'm gonna have to say comeback kid, man. I knew they would be solid this year given how they played last season, but I really thought they were probably at least another season or two away from this type of dominance, man. They have been amazing this year. I really see the NFC going through them. It's their conference to lose. The beatdown they put on the Cowboys was astronomical, ground shaking. Like, bro, it was in. What did they play in Dallas or Detroit?
I didn't even watch the game. I knew they were going to get murked.
Bro, I knew. I don't think I watched past the first quarter. I think after the first quarter, I was like, okay, it's about to get bad. Like, they have just been putting beat downs on people, bro. They're so balanced. They're so physical on both sides of the ball, bro. Football, offense, defense, no matter what, bro. Like, they are set. Jared Goff, he's had his up and downs this season compared to last season, but still been solid. Just the whole vibe of that team, bro, like, it's infectious. You can see, like, they really play for that coach. for that team. They're building something there, a culture that I've never seen in Detroit, probably since Barry Sanders was there, bro. Like, it's just, maybe you could maybe say a little bit when Stafford and Megatron was there, but after Megatron left, it was nothing. They couldn't do anything.
For a while.
Yeah, for a while. So it's just it's been amazing to see this resurgence. This season has been like the comeback here from multiple teams. You could say that for Washington Redskins. I keep saying that. Washington Commanders. You could say it for them. You can say that for Atlanta. You can say that for multiple teams this year, but mainly this team has been just a juggernaut, and I'm excited to see it going forward. I'm not excited because it's bad for the Cowboys, but at the same time, like, that team, that city in general deserves a championship culture, and I hope they do go all the way this year.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is give credit where credit's due. Everybody was a fan of the coach. I can't think of his name. They came in there and part of the HBO special when they first came out. I think it was his first season or second season there. And everybody instantly loved him. Obviously, he's raised a culture there where everyone's bought into the program. They've seen success. Jared Goff came from another team and is looking to redeem his name, and I think that he's done that. I think he was in the run for the MVP this season as far as being a quarterback until just the last game when he threw 5 interceptions. But they still won the game. Like, come on. That's crazy. A team that's fighting from the beginning and to the end, every play, every second. That's what you want on your team. Additionally, I feel like the Detroit Lions, I read a column, and I forgot where it was from, but they said that they want head coaches around the league to be more culture-based and like the head coach from the Lions, because they feel like that's more successful in a team setting than call playing. I gotta pump the brakes there. Yes, call playing super important.
Look at the Chiefs.
Exactly. So let's not get too far off in the la land. But anyway, yes, saying the culture is super important. Your team has to buy in. If you're getting ran all over and the culture's not there, there's really no need for a coach.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think everything that they're doing good. One thing that I do want to say on golf is I think, I don't know, I'm not him, I haven't had conversations with him. This is my opinion. But I think that he took a gamble this last game. I think that they're doing so well that he's testing himself and seeing how much he can rely on certain situations and his players, whether he threw bad balls or whether he didn't throw bad balls, and they got intercepted. But I think that he's able to test the waters a little bit more, because in the future when he needs to, he'll be able to make that decision. And it's going to pan out a little bit better. And when it comes to those close games and those crunch time games where it's like a legitimate opponent, I think that that's going to be factored in. That's just an opinion of mine.
Facts.
That's it on Function or VA. And
on to the last segment. Yes, today we're doing All in the Family. Special one. We got your boy. We got the Mellows in general. Carmelo Anthony, Lala Anthony, and their son, Cayenne Anthony. Pretty fitting, because that boy can get hot and he can hit some shots. Boy, he's got his father's game for sure. So much so that he has decided to take his talents all the way to Syracuse, the same alma mater of his father, even though he didn't graduate from there. But as anybody that knows, or anybody that's a Carmelo Anthony fan knows, he was very successful there and took his team all the way to the Final Four. And they won the championship that year, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was amazing. Came out same year as LeBron, had a long storied career, and now his son is looking to follow in his footsteps. My view on this is that I mean, to me, it was clear as day he was going to go there. I did not see him going anywhere else. I think it's dope when kids follow in their father's footsteps when it comes to college. I'm not going to say that, they need to play for the same team, play the same way, but like when it comes to your first step on going to the independence route of moving out the house, to me, going somewhere that kind of feels like home at the same time is important, for these young players. Some place where, you can actually see your dad's legacy and you can help build onto it and then create your own at the same time. I don't see him being there that long anyway, honestly, so it's cool to be there a year or two, get some of that culture, and then move on. Syracuse basketball as a whole is kind of falling off, especially since Jim Boeheim retired. Since they broke up the Big Ten too, it's just kind of been ugly for the basketball. But I'm excited to see him play there. And again, I'm happy that he chose Syracuse.
I don't think Syracuse was in the Big Ten, but I can agree with you that following footsteps in the family is important to a certain degree. Everybody knows Carmelo Anthony. If you're an NBA person, I think Carmelo Anthony was my top 3 favorite players of all time. I rocked his shoes a few times, and everybody wanted to be like Carmelo.
Right.
Probably.
He had some dope shoes.
I'd say the purest scorer of all time that I saw. Well, it's debatable, but he's up there.
He's up there.
One thing that I want to say is that, like, when you, in the day and age that we are with NCAA and the NIL deals and making money, like, Kean was going to get his money regardless.
Right.
He's a Carmelo. I mean, he's an Anthony. He's going to get money. He's going to a big name school that's known for basketball.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I think that he should have taken a different route and just started his own path. Like the stories in Thanksgiving and Christmas would have been cool. Hey, Dad, remember when I went to here? And they could share the same memories. And I know about that. That's cool. But I think at the same time, for him, I think that he's gonna be drafted after one and done. And I think that he'll be good enough to be in the league if he can continue to grow like he's growing. I've seen him to score anyway. But again, the big league is the big league, and we've seen some people crumble to that.
True.
I think that Carmelo and his mom, Lala, I'm not really sure where they stand. Are they together? Are they not together? But regardless, they both got his back, and they both, I'm pretty sure, allowed him to make the decision.
Yeah, I feel like that. Carmelo's pretty hands-off.
Yeah, well, it seemed like that. But like you said, there were some things when I think that he did a visit or something like that, and it was like, well, he ain't not going nowhere but Syracuse. Right. But then there was a couple times where well, maybe he might do his own thing. And for some people, I think building your own legacy and charting your own path is important to your success in the future. Because let's be real, the chances of him being talked about in Carmelo's zone of greatness are slim, and I'm not saying the man can't get it done, but I think in order for you to be successful off the bat is just starting clean slate, doing things your way. Right. But I hope the kid does good. Maybe he'll bring some spunk back to Syracuse and make it lively up in there. They're always still pretty good. They've been making the tournament the last few years. They haven't been going very far, but we'll see. And maybe they'll bring more talent because a big name kid is already going there. So
true. That's what I was thinking. Should help that program in general. Him just being there, get some more eyes on them. Because I don't really know. I can't think of the last great player that went there.
Not the one that's sticking, that's for sure.
I'm saying, like one that's going to the league and like actually doing something. I can't think of it.
I mean, I'm sure there's some that's been to the league, but nothing that's we're like, hey, that's a headliner name.
Right, exactly.
But That's all I got for All in the Family, VA.
Bet. It's been a great episode, as always. Writing time, too. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight about to happen, so...
Hopefully my Netflix...
Yeah, hopefully your Netflix... Because it's streaming right now, so it's about to start.
Live or you back?
No, it's live, so...
okay.
Yeah, they just finished
knock it out.
the girls' fight, the woman fight, so they're just now about to... They ain't even walked out yet, so you got time.
Oh, we're about to see Mr. Sparkle in action. Well,
to everybody else, though, appreciate y'all.
Games.
Yes, sir. In the HR. Appreciate y'all. Till next time. Deuces.